So there's some updates around VTubing in the open source software that's used that need to be addressed. It's part of a larger problem with open source software in general that we need to talk about. The first thing that I want to bring up is about a project that is very near and dear to me, which is Virtual Puppeting Project, or VPupper, formerly known as OpenCFaceGD. I've made multiple videos about this program. I absolutely love this program. You'll see thumbnails popping up all over. But this program is now on an indefinite hiatus. The developer of it, Ewan, has been working on this on his own for well over a year, maybe even 2 years. I don't actually know. When did I make the first video about it? When did this project start? I don't actually know. And I don't have the time to go look in to find out when it started. But what the fuck was I saying? Jesus Christ. But the big thing about this project is that it is now on an indefinite hiatus. The developer of this program, Ewan, has had a big change in his life. Didn't go into what it was about. I assume it's something personal, maybe related to his work, maybe related to his family. I don't really know. It's not my place to know if he didn't want to share. But all that we need to know about, and the only thing that matters, is that a big thing happened in his life that changed his life priorities to where he just can't spare the time to work on this anymore, which sucks. It really does suck. But again, since this is an open source project, this can be forked. There's already some people who have been talking about doing that. They may be making one based off of the 3.x branch instead of the 4.0 branch that Ewan was working on. They say they didn't like the 4.0 changes for Godot, at least I'm assuming for this project in particular. I don't know about overall, but something about the change to 4.0 in this program, they just didn't like how 4.0 handled stuff, so they're using the slightly older version. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know too much about the engine. It could make literally no difference for all I know, but that is a thing that is supposedly coming. I'll probably be making videos about that as versions start releasing, and I'll be doing maybe some beta testing on that like it was with VPupper with new versions. If they release it as a flat pack, I will probably just go install it like right this second. If you're watching this, there's a flat pack available. Let me know. You know how to contact me. Let me know. But it is a very big deal that one of the most promising projects in the open source VTubing sphere has now just kind of fizzled out. And again, Ewan may come back at some point. Maybe a couple months, maybe a couple years, don't know. At the same time, though, he may never come back. We don't really know. There's no way for us to know. But there are some other changes that have happened with the project, the biggest of which being that the Discord shut down. So I'm over here on the website. If we go and we click the little Discord join button on the website, you get that the link does not work. The Discord doesn't exist, so the invite link doesn't work anymore. You'll never be able to join the Discord because it doesn't exist anymore. Instead, now what Ewan has set up before he did shut down the Discord, though, was we go over to the GitHub page and we go to the actual VPupper project. We have a discussion page. So this is basically a forum in GitHub where you can do upvotes to talk about stuff. And this is where all the discussion should be happening now. He's basically redirect most all the references to Discord to this. It seems that the website, a couple of them were missed. I don't know if Ewan was directly running the website or if someone else was doing that. If someone else is running the website, can you update that Discord link to instead link to the GitHub discussions? Thank you. But this is probably one of the bigger changes in this whole thing, is that there is no longer a GitHub, there's no longer a Discord, there's now a GitHub discussions. So we've got a forum for stuff, so we can still talk about it. And again, that fork may be coming. They may make a new VPupper Discord that you could join. Or maybe they'll make a Matrix. Funny joke. Matrix sucks for communities. It's really, really intended for small groups of people and not big like projects like this. Now, another big thing that's happened that this hasn't fully been set in stone. It's still a little bit up in the air. They tweeted about it on their Twitter and on Mastodon and all that fun stuff. And it comes from Luna the Fox Girl, who, if you don't know, is a absolutely amazing programmer. She is incredible. I don't know how she does all the stuff she does, but she makes just like little game engines for fun. She made like a game engine for like visual novels, and I think maybe a fighting game as well, if I'm remembering correctly. Luna, if you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong. But she's just incredible. She's absolutely amazing. I cannot sing her praises enough. She's absolutely amazing. But if we go over to her big project, which is Inochi 2D, which is the live 2D alternative that is open source, it is super cool, and is used by bigger tech VTuber names like Asahi Lina, who is also an incredible, amazing programmer. What is with all these incredible programmers being VTubers? There's Luna Fox Girl, Asahi Lina, Sanyan. Like, why? Why are there so many cool programmers that are just all VTubers? And why am I associated with it? People seriously assume that I am a programmer because I talk about this stuff all the time. No, I'm an idiot. I just happen to have met the smart people. And for some reason, people assume I'm smart by extension. That is not true. You've seen me play video games. I stream on this channel. I'm not good. I have the time of my life and it's fun, but I'm not good. But the big thing that's happening with Inochi, which all of this stuff, this website's really well made also. There's Asahi Lina. Oh my god, this website's incredible. I love this. This is such a good website. Oh my god. Whoever did the website, it may be Luna that did the website. This is fantastic. This is great. I love it. Literally the only thing I would change on this entire website is I'd want the Inochi logo up here somewhere. That's it. That's the only thing I would change. just put it behind the text. And that's the only thing I would change about this entire website. It's so good. It's so good. God, I would love to have. And like when you scroll, it auto stops in the next section. I'm just gonna lose it over this website. But I need to talk about important stuff. There is a very big, very important thing that is going on, and that is Inochi 2D also has a chance of going on an indefinite hiatus. Now, the reasoning for this is different from Vtuber. Vtuber was personal stuff happening in Ewan's life that I'm not going to pry into or really care to share about anything about because I don't know what's going on with his life. It's not my position to know what's going on with his life. It's up to Ewan whether or not he wants to share that or not. And he probably wants to keep it private because it's probably a personal matter that involves, like, again, work or family or just the living situation, or I don't know. There's a million things could be that you would want to keep personal. You don't want to just go sharing them on the internet. So not going to look into that. If he wants to come back to the project, we will welcome him back with open arms. If he never wants to come back to the project, cool, great. Totally your call, man. We're going to start doing a fork. Inochi 2D, little bit of a different story. Inochi 2D may go on hiatus because of funding. And this is where this starts to branch into the more general open source environment or community. So Luna has been trying to make Inochi 2D like a full-time job for literally years. She's got a Patreon page for it. She's got a GitHub sponsors page for it. I'm on the GitHub sponsors. If you can donate to this project, donate through GitHub sponsors. They take like basically nothing from what you donate compared to Patreon, which takes like, I think, up to half or something like that. It's ridiculous. Use GitHub sponsors. But she's not making enough. She's barely scraping by as it is. She now has to also care for she's got a cat. Cat came into her life. She won't abandon the cat, which I can't blame her as someone who also has a cat. But she's got to make enough to do that. So she's like, okay, well, I may need to go become a wage slave and do that instead of just working on my fun, goofy computer programs, which really sucks because she is such a talented developer. It would be a crime for her to not be able to work on this as much as she wants. Or just work on all of her other random projects that she does, like the game engines and stuff. Now, if you have the funds, go subscribe to this project. Like, don't even hesitate. Go subscribe to this project. It's like $5 every month. Go subscribe. Give it a little bit more financial stability. If it does end up going on hiatus, she has said she'll sunset the GitHub and Patreon, which, not the GitHub page itself, the GitHub sponsorships. And the Patreon, kind of hope she doesn't do that because she still deserves the money and the chance that she comes back to this. I will gladly keep paying for this. But yeah, there is a chance it may not, though, because I believe that she applied to some sort of like grant thing or funding thing. I don't know the details of what it was, but she made it through the first round of that. She's being considered for the second round. She hasn't received any money yet, but she's gotten through the first round of what's the word for it? The first round of applicants. She's now in the second round of applicants, as they're narrowing down who they're going to fund, because they can't fund anyone as much as they would love to. I don't know who it is that's actually doing it. I could probably check on Discord to see. Let's see here. Don't want to accidentally show anything that I shouldn't show. So I'm going to hold off for once before throwing this over here. Here we go. It's the Enochi 2D thing. Yeah, here it is. So this is the public post in the Enochi 2D Discord. Hey everyone, for the past 2 years, I've done my best to avoid getting to this point, but I don't think I can do this for much longer. The project has barely been making me able to scrape by, and it's caused me a large amount of mental/emotional pain. Any attempt I've made to make Enochi 2D viable to work on full time has failed thus far, with me dealing with severe depression and burnout, I don't feel like I'll be able to finish Enochi 2D 0.9. I may put Enochi 2D on an indefinite hiatus soon, and will go on to become a wage slave like most developers end up. This will leave me with no energy to work on Enochi 2D. Thank you for all the support thus far. I wouldn't have gotten this far without all of you. If I do decide to put the project on hiatus, I will be sunsetting the Patreon and GitHub sponsors page. I'd like to thank all the people who've supported the project thus far monetarily as well, and all the contributors who've contributed translations, code, feature requests, bugs, etc. You guys rock. Reading this breaks my heart, honestly, because again, Luna is such an amazing developer. She honestly deserves to have this come to fruition. The VTuber, I don't know if anyone realizes this, but VTubers, we need a program like Enochi 2D. With how much everyone wants to have a 2D model, and the only option being Live 2V, controlled by, what's the company? Clover Corp? I think it's the same people that owned HoloLive. That is a very big barrier to entry. To build in that with full feature sets, you have to pay a monthly subscription. Not cool. There is a free version. You can do a lot of stuff in the free version, but it's limited, I think, in the number of objects you can animate and some other restriction. I haven't looked too deep into the limitations of the free version, but I do know it does have quite a lot of limitations. You got to be real creative with how to work around them if you're using the free version. Also, the fact that Live 2D was not intended for VTubers. It was intended for animating 2D visuals in gacha games and visual novels and stuff. And then they kind of just retrofitted it to work live, which it works, and it works pretty well, but it's not the most resource efficient because it wasn't designed with live use in mind from the get-go. And it's kind of too big to change now. But Enochi 2D, which is designed with live use in mind from the beginning, it's also meant for those same applications of animating visual novels and gacha games and stuff. It can do all that same stuff, but it's designed with hey, this could also be used live from the ground up. But yeah, immediately she got an email, which I'm not gonna show the email in case it shows her actual email address, which I don't think it does, but just to be safe. But the email says essentially, your project Enochi 2D has been selected for the second round. Dear Luna, it's my pleasure to inform you that your project Enochi 2D has been selected to enter the second round of the December 2023 call. While the first round is solely based on your proposal, this strict selection round is potentially interactive, as your project is looked into in more depth, and the reviewers may need some additional information to properly assess your application, in which case they'll contact you. Note that proposals are reviewed with regards to urgency, relevance, and value for money. Unfortunately, we will not be able to fund all projects proposed as much as we would like that. We will send you questions in the next week, and we will be subsequently thoroughly evaluating your answers and those of the remaining proposals for the second round, which should take about 3 to 4 weeks. During this round, we may ask you to supply, and then it gets cut off for the rest of it. So I don't know who this is that is funding it. The name is... Let's see if we can find out who that is. MICHIELLEENAARS. NLNet. Director of Internet Society Netherlands. One of the more stable Internet Society chapters in the world. Okay, so... They are... Oh, I'm an idiot. It's not Michelle, it's Mitchell. I'm so dumb. I can't read. Oh my god. But yes, there's a chance that Inochi2D could be getting funding from this organization, which if that happens, please let that happen. Please, Mitchell, if you are watching this video, please fund Inochi2D. This is quite literally could be an industry-changing technology. I cannot stress that enough. The entirety of this animated 2D avatars thing is controlled by a single company and a single program with no competitors. This is the only competitor for this 2D animation style and the live like VTuber industry if you want to have a 2D model, which is an exploding industry that is still growing. Holy crap, is it still growing? Why is it still going? Why are we still here? We should not be here. Now, as for how this hooks into open source software in general, you might have heard my mic just squeak because I kind of adjusted it. This issue that Luna is facing is, as she noted in her post on Discord, a very common problem for open source developers. They make something, they put their heart and their soul into it, they try to make a living off it, and just no one gives them money. The biggest, most recent example that I could think of is the Fake.js. This is editing Ren. I am actually going to cut out the little section I spoke about Faker.js. Turns out there's a lot more to it than I initially realized, and I do not have the time to go through and explain all the nuances of this. Basically, what you need to understand is that Faker.js made a bunch of fake data for testing programs. The guy who made it was tired of not making money off it, considering how the costs of maintaining it kept going up and up and up, and all these companies kept using it without paying him a cent. So he took it down and deleted everything. The reasons for it, there's a lot more nuance to. If you want to look into it, I'll have some links in the description, but it's not as black and white as I initially made it out to be, and that's my bad. I should have done a little more research before mentioning it, so just throwing that out there. If I'm not misremembering this, I believe the way the story went is that Fake.js, the developer of it, just took everything down one day because he was sick and tired of all these giant corporations using his stuff and not paying a cent. You were not required to pay, but it really stings when you've got companies like Google using your programs and not giving you a dime when they have quite literally billions, if not trillions of dollars to spare. And you couldn't spare just a little bit of cash for this guy who is making it an essential part of your workflow that makes you so much money. That is kind of fucked up. That basically is exploitative, is what that is. And this problem doesn't have an easy solution. At least, there's no easy solution that I can think of. The solution I can think of, the only way I can see this happening is crowdsourcing. So like what Inochi2D has. If you like Inochi2D, if you like Live2V and you just want there to be competition so that it keeps improving, donate to Inochi2D. Again, I will link Inochi2D's website down below. I will link to the GitHub sponsors page. I'll probably just link directly to the GitHub sponsors right here. github.com/sponsors/Luna the Fox Girl. You can see I sponsor at $5 a month. You can choose a one-time donation. You can then share it on Twitter. It's hilarious. It still says Twitter, but it has the X logo, and also it's blue because we're just going to keep calling it Twitter. It's never going to be X. It's just going to be Twitter. But this is, again, such a good project. This is something that deserves as much funding as it can possibly get. Please, please, I am begging you, sponsor Inochi2D. Luna deserves to live off of this project. She deserves to be able to work on a project that she has a passion to do, that she has the skills to do. She's created this whole thing from scratch. It's absolutely incredible. If you're a coder, if you're a programmer, even, contribute to it. Donate code to it. It's written in Dlang. It doesn't use OpenD. It uses the official Dlang compiler, which is a programming language I didn't even know existed until I found this project. Cool. I think it's got syntax similar to C with some stuff from some other languages pulled together. It's kind of like taking the best of different programming languages, or what feels the best from different programming languages from the people who made the D language. Go check it out. Go try it out. Go make a VTuber in it. I'm going to have a VTuber made in it at some point. I keep saying that and I keep not doing it, so I should probably actually do that. But yeah, crowdsourcing is probably our only solution. There have been suggestions for changing the license that these programs use. Someone has suggested, like, I think Brody Robson made a video about this, about the license that comes after open source. Proposals for licenses that they are free and open source for individuals, but you got to pay a license if you're a corporation, which is not a bad idea, but it falls into the same problem as like companies that use GPL license stuff. How do you enforce that? Where do you get the funding to go after these mega corporations that have just infinite money that they can throw at you at the drop of a hat for a lawsuit? How do you fight that? We need some sort of regulation, or we need some sort of, I don't know, government involvement. I don't know. I don't even know if a government would get involved. I don't think a government would give a shit about this. So maybe we shouldn't rely on that, because I don't think they care. It is very much a problem that I don't know the solution for, but it's something that we're going to have to figure out. I love open source stuff. I'm the type of guy that if there is a proprietary version of something and an open source version of something, I'm going to probably choose the open source version every single time, with a handful of exceptions. Like, I usually use Discord instead of Matrix because everyone's on Discord. It's kind of hard to leave it. I'll use, like, I'm currently using VCFace right now because the Vtuber is in development. I was hoping to switch back to it, but now it's on hiatus. I'll probably end up using the fork of Vtuber that comes along and hopefully continues development. Actually, I know for a fact I'm going to use it because I'm going to make videos on it. So, hey, you may see me on a stream using that program. You should check out streams, by the way. I'm going to have those linked below as well. But that's it. That's what I have to talk about. It's a little bit of a downer video, I know. It is something that is very important, though. This video is mostly just a cry for please fund Enochi2D, because this project deserves all the funding. Luna deserves to work on such an amazing program that she created, and she deserves to be able to live doing what she loves, which is all this cool tech stuff that she does for free. For free. She's doing it for free. Buy her a coffee as a thank you. I mean, it's the least you can do. That sounds really mean. But yeah, if you enjoy these programs and you have a little bit of extra, I'm not saying like everyone should give regardless of your financial decision. No, it's if you have an extra $5 a month, just throw it at this project. That's it. Buy one less coffee a month, throw it at this project instead. That's all. It doesn't take a lot. What it takes is a lot of people, though. Instead of just one person giving a bunch of money, we just need a lot of people giving a couple bucks. And then we can have this thing potentially become a new standard and a viable competitor to Live2D. Even if you would rather use Live2D because everything's made for it, if Live2D has no competition, they're going to do like what every tech company does with no competition, which is enshittification. They're going to make their product worse. They're going to introduce more things that you have to pay for to try to squeeze more money out of you. They'll throw in like advertisements, because where are you going to go? You can't stop them. You got nowhere else to go. That's why we need competition and stuff. We don't have a means to make those sort of things illegal because we want to have like a capitalist market. Capitalist hellscape, more like. It's getting weirdly political. It sucks. The current situation in just technology in general sucks. By helping fund small indie projects like this, we can try to make it suck a little less. That's all I want to say for this video. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I know this is not my usual video. I'm usually more like, hey, check out this cool thing. And this one is like, stuff's dying, please help. But hey, if you want to check me out when I'm live, you can check me out. I stream over here on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time. Schedule's a little bit flippy-floppy right now, but we're looking at Mondays and Tuesdays for sure. I'm not sure. I started doing stuff on Friday. I'm probably going to move those to Sunday, just so I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Have all those 3 in a row. But that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Peace out!